Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle and growing. You never know where First NBC Bank's going to pop up, maybe right next door to you. They're pretty close to us.
Yes, they are.
All right, so there you go. Interesting weekend, and of course college baseball, and 3 Louisiana teams are heading to the NCAA baseball tournament. 2 will be in Baton Rouge, 1 will be in Houston. And congratulations to all 3, Tulane earning an at-large bid. They really weren't on the bubble as it turned out. And Louisiana Lafayette earned their way in by winning the Sun Belt Conference tournament. LSU, of course, the 2nd overall national seed.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot was made out of LSU's not number 1, they're number 2. And as I wrote about yesterday at SportsNOLA.com and mentioned here in the videos last week, the number doesn't matter. The important thing is you are a national seed. Baseball, unlike softball, maybe some other sports, that it's not all seeded all the way through in terms of how you bracket this thing. The only thing that is truly seeded in the tournament are the 8 national seeds. The only thing that they do with the super regional matchups is they won't put a number 1 seed from the same conference against each other in the super regional. So you would not see, for instance, LSU matched up against Texas A&M or against Vanderbilt. As a result, they're matched up with the Houston Super Regional. And
which in itself is pretty interesting, considering what happened to LSU with Houston in 2014.
No doubt. And, you could be, if LSU can get through this weekend, you're looking at Houston or Rice, or who knows, maybe UL Lafayette could pull a surprise over there and be an interesting in-state story if that were to happen. But first things first, this weekend, and I think Paul Maneri's got all the motivation he needs. Just look back to a year ago when you were a national seed and couldn't get out of your own regional to advance to a super regional at home. So first things first, take care of this weekend. LSU has to be the prohibitive favorite based on what I've seen. Wilmington is good. Tulane, kudos to them. A terrific year to get back to the tournament for the first time since 2008, but LSU has to be the prohibitive favorite.
Well, they certainly are. The good news for Tulane is Wilmington's top 2 pitchers do not have good earned run averages, so perhaps there's a real opportunity for the Green Wave there too. And again, Louisiana Lafayette, last year's experience certainly will help them, but getting out of Houston is never an easy task. Delgado goes 2-out in the Junior College World Series, still an outstanding season for the Dolphins.
No doubt, and I know Joe Sherman is a bit disappointed in that this is now 4 trips to Grand Junction for his program and 4 0-2s, and it's motivation. I mean, certainly going forward, you want to continue to get back there, but you want to be able to do more once you get there. And I think he felt like he maybe had the chance, especially with this team, that they could swing the bats, that you had the experience. The first time he was able to draw an experience there with players who had been there the year before, but just couldn't put it together. Made some rallies, got back in games, and then gave up the big inning.
Well, you can pitch your way to a championship. You typically cannot hit yourself to a championship, and that's basically the story there. The Zephyrs having to dodge rain. They've had to deal with rain out Sunday and Monday because of the deluge that we've had.
A lot of weather going through. Fortunately, we're dealing with in New Orleans isn't anywhere near as bad as what they're dealing with in Texas. Flooding in Houston. I mean, you had people that got stuck at the Toyota Center overnight last night because of the weather in Houston, Dwight Howard included. So, our thoughts and prayers to all the folks in Texas. Yeah, we're dealing with some rain here, and we had a tornadic event in Kenner Tuesday morning. Zephyrs will get back at it. Hopefully the weather will clear up a little bit here later Tuesday, and it's supposed to get better as the week goes along, which is good news for the folks in Baton Rouge in terms of playing baseball there.
No question. The AVP of New Orleans was a success. First time out, place was packed for much of the time. Admission was free, but favorites won, and all accounts were a good event. And fortunately, the bad weather, that is, didn't come until after they were done.
Yeah, and they got Thursday night. We had the bad weather blow through that ended up postponing the entire day on Friday. It got compressed into a 2-day event on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm sure people out there wondering, well, hey, why can't you just move this thing back, finish it up on Memorial Day, make it a real holiday weekend? Well, the reason it was scheduled Friday, Saturday, Sunday to begin with is all of these top players had to jump on a plane Sunday evening and head to Moscow for an international tournament this week. So that's why they couldn't do that. But fortunately, they did get it all in, and congratulations to everybody involved, and certainly the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation for bringing yet another successful event here to New Orleans.
Pelicans coaching search continues. Jeff Van Gundy apparently interested. And he hasn't coached since 2007, but he's a pretty sexy name. He's well respected and he's had a lot of really good assistants under him, including Tom Thibodeau, and he's had success. So that's an intriguing name to add to the mix.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see what the level is there. I tweeted about this over the weekend. What cracks me up is ESPN is quoting sources that Jeff Van Gundy's interested in a Pelicans shop. He works for ESPN. Why do you need a source? Just saying. Go ask the guy. Are you interested?
It's ESPN.
Of course, they do this all the time. They have to quote sources that John Gruden is not interested in this coaching job, or that one of their baseball analysts isn't interested. He works for you. How do you need a source? It's come on. I understand they're trying to protect people, but come on.
Sources tell me that we're about done here.
Yeah, and then let me see if I can confirm that for you. Do we need a second source just to make sure we can go with that?
Check it out. What do you say, Adam?
I'm the second source. All right, we're done.
All right, we're done. That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and in the Florida Panhandle, and continuing to grow. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Lenny, have a great week. Stay dry.
We'll do our best. We'll see you later this week.
For Lenny, I'm Kenny. You have a great week as well, and God bless you.